Neon is completely taking over the Valorant meta right now. But here's the thing, I don't think the real problem is Neon herself. The real problem is that Sentinels are too weak to stop her. So instead of just nerfing Neon, I revoked both Neon and entire Sentinel class. And I promise you, Neon mains are probably gonna hate one of these changes. Before the release of Mix, Sage used to be the best healer in the game, but now most players pick Mix instead of Sage, and the reason is obvious. Mix has 2 healing charges, can heal teams across the map, and can even heal whole team to full HP. Meanwhile, Sage has 1 single heal, and that creates an awkward situation for Sage players. When multiple teammates are low HP, who you heal? Your duelist, your smoker, or yourself? So here's the change I made. I added a new effect to Sage healing ability, inspired by Mix's team mechanic. So whenever Sage heals an ally, she also receives the same healing. This encouraged the Sage player to actively heal the teammate instead of holding the heal for herself. But the healing isn't Sage's only problem. She's extremely supportive, but not good at actually defending a side. Take her wall for example. Right now, a Neon can easily break the wall and run through it. So I added a new mechanic. Whenever a section of Sage's wall gets destroyed, it creates a slow field on the ground, exactly like her slow orb, and it lasts 5 seconds. So if Neon destroys the wall and tries to rush through, she will immediately hit the slow effect. That delay gives Sage's team time to rotate. But Sage isn't the only Sentinel struggling right now. Killjoy also needs help. Killjoy has a huge limitation that Cypher doesn't have. Her turret and alarm bot stop working when she walks far away from them. This means Killjoy players are forced to play around their setup, and that makes it very hard to control multiple areas of the map. So my change is simple. I removed the activation range from both the turret and alarm bot. They now stay active no matter where Killjoy is on the map. But of course that will be too strong, so I added a trade-off. Killjoy can no longer recall her abilities from anywhere. She now has to close physically to them in order to pick them up. This allows Killjoy to control more space, but still prevents her from constantly repositioning her gadget. But one of the best agents designed for countering the fast movement is Deadlock, and even she struggles right now. Deadlock has one of the best abilities to counter Neon. Her sound sensors punish enemies for making noise, which should be perfect against an agent who constantly running. There is one massive problem. Enemies can simply shift walk through them, which makes the trap almost useless for holding flanks. So I added a new mechanic. If an enemy enters the sensor's range while shift walking, the sensors begin charging for 2 seconds. With the alarm sound. Only the enemy can see this happening, and if the enemy is still in the range for 2 seconds, the sensor activates anyway and stuns them, even if they made no sound. This turns the ability into reliable information instead of something that can be completely ignored. But Deadlock's wall also has an issue. Imagine the situation. Neon activates her ultimate and runs straight at you. You place Deadlock's wall to block her, but Neon can simply laser through the wall. Enemies can spam bullets through it. So I changed that too. It now creates shorter walls, but they are completely bulletproof. Enemies must destroy the nodes first before they can shoot through it. This makes Deadlock much stronger at stopping aggressive pushes. With these changes, Deadlock could easily be S tier Sentinel. There is another Sentinel that used to dominate the meta, Vyse. After a series of heavy nerfs, Vyse became extremely weak. She went from one of the most played Sentinels almost disappearing from the game. My solution is simple. I reversed her nerfs. Flash once again gives sound cue when enemies get blinded. Her Razor 1 HP goes to 50 HP instead of 20. Her wall activates faster when enemies cross it, and her ultimate gets buffed again. Range increases from 28 meters to 32.5 meters. Wind up time reduced from 4.4 seconds to 3.4 seconds. These changes alone would make Vyse a best Sentinel again. But those nerfs didn't just affect her. Cypher was also heavily hit. If you remember the Cypher nerf, they mainly targeted his tripwire and his camera, and honestly, I think Riot went too far. So just like Vyse, my fix is to bring back the old version. Tripwire once again tether enemies, stun them, and reveal faster, instead of slowing and revealing them too late. And Cypher's camera no longer becomes visible and makes sound on close range. This brings back his strengths as one of the best information sentinels in the game. But there is still one sentinel that barely gets played, and that's Veto. When Veto was first released, many players thought he would be completely broken, but after release, almost nobody plays it, and the biggest reason is his teleport ability. Right now it feels awkward and unreliable, so here's what I changed. First, I reduced the ability to one charge, but in exchange, I doubled its range. Now Veto doesn't need to find perfect positions for two anchors, but that's not the most interesting part. I also added a new mechanic. Currently, you have to look at the anchor in order to teleport. I kept that part to avoid making it too strong and copy of Chamber's teleport. But now when you teleport, you swap places with the anchor, and the anchor appears where you teleported from. This means you can teleport back and forth infinitely until enemies destroy it. But his trap also needs improvement, so I reduced the distance where it becomes visible. Enemies now have to get much closer in order to spot it. And finally, his interceptor ability. Originally it required you to place it, activate it, and then it worked only for a short duration. But ability projectiles move incredibly fast in Valorant. Think about Chaos Knife or Neon Stun. You rarely have time in order to activate the interceptor perfect, so I removed the activation mechanic entirely. Now when you place it, activates immediately until round ends or enemies destroy it, or you take it back. But it's also balanced, since the interceptor makes loud sound cue revealing its location. This lets enemies to know where they shouldn't throw their ability. But even with buff all the sentinels, Neon would still dominate the meta, so she also needs changes. Neon is one of the strongest agents. Some players think she is completely broken, others think she is balanced. But one thing is certain, playing against her can feel extremely frustrating. So I started with her slide. Right now Neon can slide into fights and can still have extremely accurate shots, which allows her to win gunfights while being harder to hit. So I reduced the bullet accuracy on her slide. You can still shoot, but landing shots is extremely harder. Next, her sprint. Currently, Neon can run for 16 seconds with full battery charge. That's way too much mobility, so I reduced it to 10 seconds. And finally, her stun ability. This ability honestly doesn't make sense when you compare it to a similar stun ability. I mean Tejo's stun. He has to equip it and the stun zone appears at the end point. Meanwhile, Neon can instantly cast it without equipping it. It creates two stun zones, one on bounce surface and one at the end, and the stun area is much larger. So Neon's version is clearly better, even though they both cost 200 credits. To balance it, I propose two possible changes. Option 1. Neon has to equip the stun before throwing it, similar to the recent Waylay nerf. Or option 2. It stays instant, but no longer bounces off the surface and creates only one stun zone. Riot would need only implement one of these changes. So those are my reworks for Neon and Sentinel. With these changes, I believe the current Valorant meta can be much healthier. But now I want to hear your opinions. Which of these ideas do you agree with? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this kind of agent redesigns, make sure to subscribe. Also check out my mix rework video here.